flights. Star Walker, you know, before you get too outside yourself, let me talk to you for a little bit. Okay. That's right. Yeah, it's not a problem. Esoteric to the exoteric, all is thoughtless. Yeah, everything y'all know is common knowledge. Yeah. Alright now. Yeah, okay. It's cosmic nonsense. Alpha and Omega, Alphabet and I'm Adonis. Where this water dripping from, trust is not a faucet. Yeah. Alright now. I just be in a dream, still I can't even wait. Asking me where Uriel from, I came out of space. Beautiful spirits in the sky, still creating the day. If you don't get your own mind, you gon' stay in a flame. Let me ask you, what you gon' do if I told you now? What was you gon' do if I told you that you just externalize? Everything is internal, yeah. What was you gon' do if I told you now? What was you gon' do if I told you that you just externalize? Everything is internal, yeah. Demons from the past like the axe, do you remember me? Going in the dark is being trapped up in a memory. Imagine all my enemies laughing at the end of me. The energy they gave got me surpassing all their distant dreams. Don't act like this is just in me, it's something more than that. All this knowledge that I be getting, right where the Lord be at. Pain is like rain in the brain, right where you storming at. Front and center, I need some cover, just like a quarterback. Yeah, going back to my early days, I was on my third dizzle. Yeah, fucked around with the wrong people, now I got trust issues. Yeah, watch the ones who got a lot of problems and they try to fuck with you. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, they the ones gonna give you trust issues. Because it's always agendas behind a relationship. Cause they don't really fuck with ya behind all the faking shit. You really think you need your sister or that guy you was staying with? You really need to get the picture, in your mind you ain't making sense. What was you gonna do if I told you now? What was you gonna do if I told you that you just externalize? Everything is internal, yeah. What was you gonna do if I told you now? What was you gonna do if I told you that you just externalize? Everything is internal, yeah. In this world with nobody, you know, they wanna know where the pilot flew. Everything externalized that's outside came from inside of you. Gotta pick up their pieces, you know, but ain't nobody there to claim it. Since the puzzle completed, now everybody gon' be waiting. What the fuck, yeah? What was you gon' do if I told you now? What was you gon' do if I told you that you just externalize? Everything is internal, yeah. What was you gon' do if I told you now? What was you gon' do if I told you that you just externalize? Everything is internal, yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes. Welcome to the supernatural transformation activation ritual during this new moon in Scorpio ceremony. This is your host, the Peace Dealer, and I am eternally grateful to you for being here right now. All right. I would like to extend not only my gratitude, but also my congratulations. You being here, you can think of like a quick time event. And whereas other people all around the world may be experiencing their own unique experiences that for certain people may also introduce them into these experiences, I can say here in this present moment, if you're here right now during an impromptu live that I didn't even know I was going to do right now, but literally just came to the realization that mainly just because I checked the planets. But yeah, if you're here right now, you want to. It's hard for me to say because I feel like some of you before coming onto this live have already been guided by synchronicities to kind of just really quickly flow through this. All right. In that you have been elected. The reason why you're here right now is you have been carefully handpicked and selected to not only represent the new world or the new era or this new paradigm, but to really lead by example in a way that facilitates the transformation of not only just this world and the societies that inhabit it, but more importantly, the unique expression of new concepts and new ideas that you have spent so long working on. Okay. The multi layered facets of this multi-dimensional experience all getting ready to condense itself through you. And I feel like for a lot of you, for the first time, you're really going to feel like you more than ever, unlocking facets of yourself that you probably didn't even know possible, which is beautiful because this is nothing that we've haven't done before. But the quality of this, it's gonna shock you. So congratulations if you're here. Um, I want you to think that 6 months ago, God gave you a promise. You were in the promised land. You had just come out of captivity, the captivity of limited consciousness, self-doubt, and not accepting what you deserve. And you finally stepped into the promised land. And God gave you a promise that you don't have to compromise and accept anything less than what you're worth. Such a radical acceptance of yourself that produced your own unique individual gifts. And over the past 6 months, you worked very hard, where certain people gave their power away because they didn't believe in themselves. They believed in a narrative that the world forced them to accept. You realized that you couldn't serve two masters. You couldn't be lukewarm. And you made the radical, innovative decision to not be ashamed in the proclamation of the gospel in expressing this truth. You made the sacrifices that other people gave away their power so that they didn't have to. And we want to highlight that this doesn't necessarily make them bad people. In the advent of people just expressing their ideas, they start to project their philosophies on other people. It's not that you're good and they're bad. It's that there were two pizzas on the table, cheese and pepperoni. Some people took pepperoni, some people took cheese. Boom. What's going to happen to the cheese is going to happen to the cheese. What's going to happen to the pepperoni is going to happen to the pepperoni. So, horrible analogy aside, your willingness to integrate the gifts, the talents that the master is giving you came with a willingness to align with this sense of your authenticity in the face of extraneous outside influences that have shamed, manipulated, and attempted to guilt you out of your own inheritance. Of course, it's Scorpio season. This is super deep. Okay. So, this moment right now represents the harvest of the decisions and choices you've made 6 months ago. The past 6-7 months was part one. Starting now, this is part two. Now coming into May of 2024. Okay? This is going to shock everyone around the world because they're going to realize that the illusions and lies they told themselves in order to be in denial and not accept certain harsh facets of reality were literally just that. And now everything that you have been trained over the past few years to prepare for is forcibly having you completely apply this. And this is where we'll see, whether the people who practice what they preach are able to actually transform through these new set of circumstances. New moon in a sign of energy, new energy. Is this natural energy? That's Taurus. Is this cosmic energy? That's Aquarius. Is this solar energy? That's Leo. This is pure energy. The energy that taps you into the underworld, the depths of your unconscious. And the reason why this is going to feel so rewarding for you is because this kicking off part two is going to feel like the first part was all the work. The first part during the last 6 months was you having to go out in the field, activate these new abilities, perspectives, behaviors, integrate the behaviors, right? The difference between people who expected the universe to just do things for them and those of you who did it yourself, none of which had to require physical action, but presence of mind, will, and intention, which now inspires action. Taking all these radical concepts about yourself and reality and putting them all together September, moving forward in October through that. Now you are transforming this super expression of yourself. And it's time for you to become who you have always truly been beyond every lifetime in this axis of time and space. No cap. No cap. Okay. So the next part, starting now, I want to highlight that it's this activation that's triggering this. This is going to bring an immediate and exponential heightened quality of all your senses. And now everything that you have maintained by following God's promise, you are harvesting. It is your mission throughout the rest of this year, coming into the end of this cycle, to not only maintain this transformation through integrity, but to manage the harvest of what you're going to come into. This in and of itself will be a challenge because having to manage resources that you may not have been expecting to come into while also being tested on how your character is assessed through getting what it is you want will make or break and define how it is you're going to, in 6 months from now, step into this portal of evolution through, of course, the Aries North Node, establishing this road to war arc that started in Libra season, and then the evolution in Taurus, and then boom, road to the New World Order. Okay. So 2023, first of all, 2020 brought in all the energy, right? But 2023, right, was the beginning of the end of the world. And 2024 is the road to the New World Order. And 2025 is the New World Order. Okay. Road to New World Order is nuts. All 2023 really was just to set everything up, the beginning of the end. And that's why this is so crucial, because this is a new moon in Scorpio with Saturn direct in the beginning of Pisces, the beginning of the end of Saturn, the representation of totality, the world. This is it. This is where all the people who spent the past 6 months taking God's promise and just shirking it off, not developing their behaviors, working on their shadow, spiritually bypassing, the winter is going to come and they're going to die. They didn't pick everything that they needed so that they can brave the winter. They splurged it throughout the summer. Okay. And this is where y'all who did the work, the rest of the next 6 months is only going to be gloriousness. That's why this is establishing part 2 of the I Told You So tour. And this is now bringing in stage 2 breakthrough. All stage 1 breakthrough does is to balance and reset everything with the nodes. So through this balance, you have a position to move cardinally off of. This is where the sauce gets laid in. New moon Scorpio. Okay. So I'm going to talk about how the heightened quality of your senses will literally dive you straight through the supernatural. And this is going to now bring in Sagittarius season, which is going to be a quick 30-day ascension cycle of now bringing you up to speed of, okay, yeah, that's what this is. That's what this means. That's what this means. Yeah, now you can like you do this ability and do this. And you're literally adjusting your perspective to prepare to take that perspective to move up the mountain and fight the final boss at 29 degrees Pluto Capricorn. This is a video game. Like, if you don't know this is a video game, an MMORPG, you're about to understand. And this is where people who have prepared and leveled up, you're going to see them kick ass. And people who really were in denial about what this is, you're going, let me not speak on other people. So, cool. Here's what we're going to do. First of all, once again, congratulations on some real stuff. Congratulations. I want to make this very special for you because this is the ascent into victory. We went down the red carpet Leo season in August, and now this is the final part of that march where we ascend, we shine. And so Scorpio is so vital. All right. And before I really go into the significance of course, these transits, I'm going to break down, of course, the new moon in the first quarter square because the Sagittarius season is like you have to understand this is the first Sagittarius season that we're having in over 30 years where Saturn is in Pisces. Okay. But this is now the first Sagittarius season in over 200 years, maybe like over 150 to 200 years, that Saturn and Neptune are in Pisces. So like your understanding of magic and the metaphysical is going to that entire season have you alternate between not understanding what's reality and what's fantasy. The synchronization of last year was intense because Jupiter was in Pisces. It's going to pale in comparison to this. It's going to take that synchronization that really pushed your limits last year, and it's going to crystallize all of it. It's going to really bring everything into a clarity. And that's why the intensity of this wisdom that we're activating is based on the purity of your intention and the integrity of your beliefs. Integrity of your beliefs, meaning, yeah, you might say certain things to save face to people or to convince people, but make sure you believe it. Make sure you actually believe what you're saying, because we're going to see the evidence of this, and of course, it's going to irreparably influence the quality of your transformation. Cardinal signs are power, mutable signs are perspectives, and fixed signs are energy, qualities of energy. Taurus is natural energy. Scorpio is pure energy, the psychological nature of one's psyche that can be intangible in a sense. And the major epic facet of this is the first part of this was you overcoming the pressure of outside influences who are terrified of your transformation, who are terrified of your evolution. A lot of this shift of the power balance and dynamic is establishing how the status quo and the powers that be were comfortable with you expressing your opinions when you were at a certain level. They didn't expect for you to level up past their suppression. Now you are casting uncomfortable lines that are holding people accountable because you are speaking directly to what these people are doing. And whereas they got away with just hitting you with BS and flexing whatever false authority, you who are coming with the authority of God, standing in integrity and expressing fruits of the Spirit, all right? By their fruit, ye shall know them. So, like, you're expressing fruits of the Spirit. Normally, people express fruits of evil and they can just point that out. You don't have anything that these people can really do. People are trying to do shady stuff to you. You're not a shady person. And this is really, really intimidating them. People who used to hide behind this veil of, I'm richer than you, I'm more important than you. You're seeing chinks in their armor because now they can't hide behind the machine, which can now perfect their image and you just see them perfectly. And it's disillusioning an entire collective. And now it's putting you, it's really irking some people that they're hearing, if anything, from you, putting them in their place. Which I think is hilarious because it's sweet irony and justice at the same time. So this is where, moving forward, now that you've established this, you have one more final boss battle. And this is you finally overcoming this transformation of status quo. And it can feel very uncomfortable, but it can also feel very rewarding because now you're seeing the culmination of impacting the world in ways that finally put to use all the lessons that you learned to get here. And it is an amazing feeling. And there could be that temptation to feel like, oh, this is just going to be short lived. But that's really what those who oppose you wish. They wish that you can miss. So the fact that you're about to, over the next 6 months, lay the smack down is going to be for them a reign of terror that they're experiencing from you, because you are single-handedly, with the integrity of your actions, which can't be taken from you, exposing the false nature of everything they bamboozled people who are too weak-minded to speak out because they're scared and cowards do. But you're not scared. You have been chosen. That's why you've been chosen. It's not because you're more special than other people. It's that many were called, but when it came time to use their gifts and actually speak the truth, they were afraid. They wanted acceptance for other people. They traded in their gift for worldly wisdom, worldly acceptance. And that's exactly what they got. You decided not to do that because you felt it'd be more wise to build an arc that will help you get through what's coming. So if we think about the construction of this arc, the building of it was actually the retrograde of Saturn. Okay. Remember how I gave you the impression that the Saturn in Pisces period was you building your arc? Well, that was actually wrong. That was a lie. The Saturn entering Pisces from 2022 into March of 2023, where it entered Pisces, March of 2023 up until now, Saturn entering Pisces, going about like 5 degrees Pisces, retrograding back into 0 degrees and going direct. That was you building your arc. Now that Saturn is getting ready to go 0 degrees, that is the flood happening right now. That is you taking your arc, and over the next 2.5 years, you're going on a faith trip as the world literally ends. That's literally it. Noah had to have faith. He didn't know what was coming after it, but he knew he would make it. And that is you exercising the belief mechanism through your imagination of faith to get through what will seemingly look like insurmountable. But now people will remark at the miracles you are doing, because those who know their God will do exploits while others will be running around with their heads cut off because they rejected the one who believed in them first and refused to believe in that being. This is it. So for those of you who've been building your arc, I'm going to explain over the next 2 weeks methodically how this is the week that the flood rainwaters come down. The next 5 months into Pisces season is the first part of this bon voyage. And then once we come into the new moon in Aries, that's the direction you're going to get ready to take this arc ride over the next 2 years. Once the North Node goes into Pisces and Saturn and Neptune are at the end of Pisces, peak end of 2024, coming into 2025, that's when Noah starts to dock the ark because the flood waters have finally lowered. And once Saturn goes into Aries 2025, you are coming out of your arc and you are getting ready to repopulate the new world order. That implies that over the next 2 years, we are going to see the end of everything we've ever known as it gets prepared to be made obsolete. And if you get too caught up in cultural interpretations of myths and prophecies, oh, this is what this book said, this is what that book said, you'll forget that you are the greatest guide in your connection to God and from the experience of what's happening. You're here real time. So just kind of respect what you are co-creating so you don't necessarily take away from the experience because you're following dogmatic narratives. Okay. Boom. So if you're ready to take this to the next level, quite literally, these are not necessarily necessary, but for the purpose of this ritual, what we're going to do is supercharge our energy and set a very strong intention. Okay. As the moon will go into Sagittarius and cast our vision, the intensity and pure energy of the nuclear quality of Scorpio creates light magic. Light. Okay. If you think about the mechanics of the intensity of energy you need to blast a spaceship off, this is the ascension arc that with this activation will bring us into Sagittarius season. All right. So what we're going to do is charge negative energy and focus very intensely on the vision of who we have transformed into and what it is over the next 6 months we will and have achieved. Okay. We are going to see and feel it like it's here now. And I'm going to also include 2 YouTube links that will also help you invaluably. I want to provide this tool so you have everything you need to make the most of it. So I forgot to mention it during the Cosmic Energy Tune-Up. Oh, I didn't even put it in there. Word. Well, I'm going to include it in this link right now. If you watch these 2 videos, okay, these 2 videos are going to supernaturally and exponentially quicken the speed with which you gain results just setting mere intentions. Okay. I have just put them in the description box below. You are welcome to check them out. These are going to be resources that, based on what I say over the next 2 weeks, if you practice these principles over the next 2 weeks, everything that you are wanting to accomplish will happen instantly. You will already see results for instantly right now. What we're going to do is activate these principles right now. And then when you watch those videos, they will reinforce and maintain what we're activating now so that you can see hyper accelerated results. If you do not watch those videos and if you do not do this ritual, you're still going to transform. And you're still going, everyone's transforming. This is really just the cumulative effects of behavioral patterns that we integrated, whether those are bad habits because you've been chain smoking, or you're going to come into the evidence of that, versus quitting an addiction, or you're going to transform and come into the evidence of that. But this ritual is focusing 200 plus people to supernaturally hypercharge your intent. So this already is ridiculous. And then these videos you're going to watch are going to enable you to maintain this state so that by 2 weeks from now, your entire world will change. That is the claim that I'm making to you. The hyper acceleration of how much crazier and wilder events are going to get every day from today is going to let you know that we are at the end of the world. Think of it as the floods are coming down. And this is the part 2 of the I told you so, where now you're starting to see people drown and you're on your arc like, I told you so. I can't hear you. I just keep hearing. Oh, I should have built your arc. and this is where you put sauce on it. You can get a little bit petty with it. We're not gonna get wild yet. That's gonna be Sagittarius, but you put a little sauce on it, though. You put a little energy, emphasis, and it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel good. All right, cool. So, with that being said, the supernatural abilities you've been experiencing up until this point were not really supernatural abilities. It was the equivalent of you using the most groundbreaking, innovative smartphone that can literally show you events in the past and future, and it can teleport you places, and it can do things that when you tell people, they're like, you're lying. You're lying. No, it can't do that. And it's such an unbelievable phone that it's people struggle to believe that it can do these things even when you show them the phone. It's like they're up, their brain isn't updated, so they don't even see it. They can't process it, right? So you were given this phone 6 months ago. That was the promise from God, right? I'm using the analogy of the phone, right? This is the promised land. You were given this phone and you were told invest in this phone, and people were like, no, that's a sham, it's not worth investing in. You invested in the phone, and because you were an early investor, you get what I'm saying? Like, every single one of you here you're going to feel like if you had 1,000 Bitcoin in 2007 and then kept it, and then in 2020 now you're like a gajillionaire or a multimillionaire, right? That's what you're going to feel like over the next 2 weeks. Except now this is your own personal stock going to the moon, quite literally. All right. So let's say you had that phone, right? That does all that stuff. But all those advanced abilities, you are only able to use the free trial version. You ever play like a demo game or like a phone, and you have the features of the phone, but you're not able to use the full part of the phone? There's like 80% of the phone that you can't really use because it's locked off to you. You can only use like 20% of it, right? Which is still cool. You're still seeing it. It makes you excited to use the phone, but it's like you're only able to use like the basic functions because it's a limited version of the phone that's meant to give you like a beta test understanding, right? That was you over the past 6 months. That was you coming into new understandings of your abilities and techniques while your body was transforming so that it can handle this new excess of energy that you're going to be inducing in yourself. And now this new moon represents your body is ready. So now you're getting ready to use all the features of that phone. And now that you're getting ready to use all the features of that phone, this is going to ascend you to the next level. You're going to start to realize, wow, I can use these new features to change my entire life relative to what I used to do, because now I can update it. That's this Sagittarius season. And because it's going to be square Neptune and Saturn, this is going to change everything about everything in your life. Similar to building an arc over the past 6 months that you're going to get ready to sail on these hoes. Okay, let's get it. Now that I've gotten these concepts out the way, so that I can let you know that the hype is real and like your spirit guides have been getting excited. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you're tapping into the 3D, maybe you're feeling like this doom and gloom. I think maybe some of you are feeling this incredibly negative, dark energy. But if you tap into the spirit, your spirit guides are like, yeah, yeah. They're like super excited to the point where I feel like some of you are thrown off. Um, this is my theory. So comment an exclamation mark if you really resonate with this. I want to see if all of you are feeling this, or you know, this is something that just a certain people are feeling, but it's almost as if like, you know, relative to how dark things are feeling, really, how are your spirit guides just like, yes, oh my God, yes, congratulations, oh, this is amazing, this is wow. Okay, the reason for this, for you guys that are commenting exclamation marks, is that your spirit guides already see what you've accomplished. You have to remember this transfer into this new consciousness, this new facet of consciousness is not happening in a different space. You're merely just finally fully activating and stepping into a facet and version of yourself that may have been suppressed your entire life. So, that negativity and darkness you're feeling is the extreme hatred from forces who know that they can never manipulate you again. From forces who know that the grace period they had from you not being aware of your full potential will never come again. From being just so bitter that you are getting ready to surpass the limitations that will surely bring their end. Okay. And your entrance through this arc is you stepping into this new era over the next 6 months that is bringing you what these guides of yours have been showing you. The best way I can say is the dark forces saw what they saw too. And whereas your spirit guides are like, yay, the dark forces are like, no. And the best they can do was to manipulate your external environment so that you wouldn't believe God's promises, but you actually trust in God. And so for the past 6 months, these dark forces have been punching their fist in the air because their only superpower is deception. But your abilities are based and operated in truth through the Holy Spirit. So just by that mismatch type disadvantage, your very presence makes them allergic to you. This is why, despite the mask they put to act a certain way, oh, I'm unbothered, just you doing simple things like just holding them accountable. You're not even insulting them. You're just holding them accountable to the truth. Like, hey, this is what you're doing. And it's like, you have to look past it. Those people are not the type of people to lose their cool. Why is it that they're losing their cool? The intangible nature of your integrity is reaching them. David is slaying the Goliath. The giants, the heads are rolling off these giants, and people don't know what to do. That's the next 6 months, my G. And this is why all I ask is to prepare yourself to get ready to be shown that there is nothing that you can't take on. People are going to see you slay to them what is the equivalent of giants, personalities and monoliths that are backed up by a collective of individuals who don't even know themselves and give away their identity for a narrative, being sent as drones to attack you physically and psychically, only for you to know and low diff them to where people will be marveling at you. But that's not what it's going to feel like to you. To you, it's going to feel like, oh, well, I guess this is what I trained for. All the cumulative effect of the series of decisions you've made to lead up to this moment are paying off. And I have to highlight, it is at its core a harvest. That's why May up until now was part 1, and now back to May is part 2. And let me tell you something. Part 2 is way better than part 1. Part 1 was you having to put in the work to harvest this. All you have to do part 2 is show up and get what you deserve. That's it. So the only thing that makes part 2 a lot more intense than part 1 is that you had the audacity to speak your truth and hold others accountable. Well, now it's time for those other people to come for you. We are going to go through the final boss battle of 29 degrees Sun Pluto Cap. And this is where that Goliath will attack you. Okay? Because now you have made the brave decision to actually put yourself out there. And now it's time for you to see what you're made of. If you give in to the lies of the devil and the fear and the wisdom of this world, you will be disappointed and ruined. But for those of you who count it all joy during trials and tribulation, and really just use the gifts, like that's where God will never put you through something that you can't handle. So you're going to apply the training you did the past 6 months and slay the giant and beat the final boss, beat the video game, make it through the arc. Boom. What was happening as Noah was going through the arc? The world was getting flooded. That's Saturn and Neptune and Pisces, the grand disillusionment, where people are going to realize it's too late to get right because you had time, you wasted it. Okay, so congratulations. I'm here to serve the chosen, and you're here. So let's do this. Okay, here's what we're going to do. You do not need these tools, right? But what we're going to do in this ritual is we are going to claim victory. We are going to hold in our mind's eye the final vision of what our victory looks like relative to our current circumstances and relative to our life story. Believe it or not, it can look like whatever it is you want it to look like. What's even better is you might change your mind about what you want it to look like. And it's as simple as just changing your mind about what you want it to look like. It's literally that simple. And then maintaining that vision. Your mission, should you choose to accept over the next 6 months, is to maintain and hold that vision where it will, over the next few months, go through its perspective awakenings and upgrades. Okay. Boom. That's it. That's all you have to do. All right. So we're going to not only hold this vision, we're going to connect with the 230 plus people who, after you set your intent, which is manifesting that energy, you are now going to, with everyone else, intend that everyone else's intentions comes true with the greatest good of all, or in the highest, most efficient way. And that's what's going to exponentially supercharge your intention times 240. This is going to take this concept we usually do, and because of the energy, as you can see, Uranus opposite Scorpio and Jupiter, this is going to be strong. Okay. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to take this state that this will produce. Once you see this vision, it's going to transform your aura because you're going to step into it. And all you have to do is to maintain that state of transformation for the next 2 weeks. And you will begin to harvest that through a changed perspective that's going to truly ascend you. It's going to get super magical, like God level magical. Okay, that's all you got to do. Because we're doing it with 240 plus people who are also intending for your intention to come true, this is going to hyper amplify your intention. Mind you, this is a radical concept that most people will consider me a charlatan and a fraud for telling you, even though it's literally just simple energy dynamics that people want to complicate, either because they want to play contrarian or they're literally that stupid. but I cannot be surprised. So that's it. That's the most basic part of this ritual. If that is all you can do, it's still going to be OP. Yep, this live is public, available forever. Okay. You can also treat this as a time capsule. On top of that, relative to this vision, this serves as a clapback. You are seeing victory over your enemies. And when I say your enemies, these are people who went out of their way to make an enemy of themselves to you. So most of you were literally just minding your business, and these people went out of their way to be like, I am your enemy. So you're claiming victory over them as you were destined to. And this is what you're going to see. And the quality with which this is going to come to fruition will scare some of you. That's why I'm saying, like, really stay steadfast to the arc you've built and do not lose faith, even if it looks like all hope is lost. That's it. In a nutshell, the people who are going to make it into the next world, the new world, are the people who are willing to give it all up. Remember, you can't serve two masters. All right. It's literally that simple. This is why the rich man was sad, walked away from Jesus, really sad. Like, how do I get into the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus is like, dude, you're straight. Just all your earthly possessions, just give them all away. And he couldn't do it. It's easy to give away earthly possessions when you don't really have that much. When you've invested so much work, so much effort, when you have stocks and all this money, and you have to give all that up. This is why a lot of people will not make it. The most dangerous people on the planet right now, if they have to give up billions of dollars that they've earned, the respect of their peers, the love of their family, and their general safety, they're going to do it like this. And be like, what? You're saying that I have to compromise and give up my gifts from God? Or I will lose all this stuff? Bye. All of you who are doing that, y'all are the only ones repopulating this new world. I'm telling you that right now. And the dark forces who their only ability is to manipulate you with that leverage, they are terrified of you. They look at you as batshit crazy. They are terrified of you. You cannot be bought. You cannot be manipulated. You believe in a power in yourself that they cannot see or quantify. So they can't even plan against it. Get ready to lay the smack down. Welcome to Stage 2 Breakthrough, the second part of the I Told You So tour. So this ritual is going to consist of all of us casting our vision. Once again, the first stage is we're all going to congregate into our astral room through a vision in the imagination realm. We're going to see each other together. That's going to connect our energy, amplifying our intent. Then we're going to step 2, say our intention through our vision. And for those of you who want to intensify, you can feel it deeply and more deeply to charge it. And then 240 plus people are going to intend for your intention to come true with the quickness and the most powerful way. And the people who watch my live, they're legit. I attract quality. I have seen evidence of this. It has humbled the fuck out of me. So they're going to put their spin on how they do the intention. You're about to get hooked the fuck up by 240 plus people right now who are all with the shits. That's why you're here. Boom. And then we're going to walk out of the portal, and you're going to see an instant manifestation of everything you spent 6 months harvesting, okay, or activating, all right, and integrating. Your mission over the next 2 weeks is simply to just take the state of the vision that is produced from you maintaining this vision and to hold it. This is going to attract enemies and bosses who their job is to knock you out of that state. If they can guilt you, shame you, or manipulate you to convince you to give your power away, they won. If you just maintain that conviction and state, no matter how much you're going to be threatened, no matter how much you're going to, literally be potentially attacked, you win. Know that this is a battle for the ages, and they are terrified of you. That's why they're threatened. They need to do this. Otherwise, you're going to end them forever. Cool. So that is the base if you do not have the tools. Now, for those of you who want to take this to the next level, you want a candle, you want a cup of water, and you want at least 3 things you are willing to sacrifice. For those of you who've watched Hunter x Hunter, this counts as a Nen condition and restriction. Okay. We're taking it there. So, in terms of 3 things you're going to sacrifice, they don't have to be 3 things that you're going to give up forever. They're just 3 things that you are committing to not doing over the next 2 weeks, like fasting. Okay. The alchemy of this transformation is replacing those 3 things that will be literally like your offering to the universe. When you want to summon in Yu-Gi-Oh! A higher star monster, you need to special summon other cards. You need to make a tribute. This is effectively what you're doing. The quality of your tribute will now affect the quality of the results you gain from this. But don't get too caught up on, is this good enough or not? What matters more is your consistency to, over the next 2 weeks, sacrifice or give up or just die, kill Scorpio, and these 3 things. If you want to, it could be like a DA. This is a really good question. This is where you can make it whatever it is you want. Okay. The mechanics behind it really is because you are stopping these 3 things. These are 3 things in a normal basis you would do that, let's say, if your life has like certain behaviors that fill and plug it up, these were like at least 3 things that influence the decisions you made. Now that you're not doing it, it's literally opening up space and karma that you would have done doing that. That enables the universe to now replace it with something else, or to now take those 3 things and transform it and now create something new. It's like before you put memory on the data card, you need to get rid of space so you have the memory to put on that data card. Okay. For those of you, and I'm really picking, for those of you who are feeling these backhanded compliments, these snide remarks, these passive aggressive, sarcastic remarks, it's okay. Like, you're being supported through this. Some of you are accepting that you're so powerful, it is triggering the deepest insecurity in people who you would have never expected. Heck, maybe some people who you might have idolized. You should never have idols, but like, now you're seeing why. So don't worry. This is smoothing out. The first part of it was the hardest part. The last part of it is like walking down the mountain, but you still need to maintain that state because there still are extreme challenges you're overcoming. So I just wanted to say that because, you have these people punching their fists in the air. They never expected you, especially of all people, to be the one that calls them out. And it's just exposing how much of trash they've always been. Good riddance. Anyway, like I was saying, we have this candle, we have this water, and then we have the three things. If you want to just do one, you can do one. If you don't want to give anything up, you don't have to give anything up. Okay. I'm going to do at least three. If you want to keep doing it after 2 weeks, you can. If you want to do it for just a day or 2 weeks, I'm just giving you a base template that you can edit and make whatever you want. Okay. So, what we're going to do after we do the ritual and after we charge that energy with the gang and we set that intention, right? And we've seen our vision, I will explain the process again. Then we're going to pour the intention into the candle and the water. Okay. And then once we're done, there are further instructions. So once again, you can watch this ceremony as much as you want. This is most definitely a time capsule. And you're going to be you can get different results from it every time you do it. Okay. So I'm going to describe this again. We're going to do this ritual after I break down the astrology for the next 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm just feeling so much gratitude, so much accomplishments. The level of accomplishments you're going to achieve in such a short amount of time is going to be ridiculous. So let's explain this process again. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Basically, you're going to see the vision of your victory. You're going to decide on what that looks like for you. This vision of your victory is you in your transformed state. Well, if you're going through a supernatural transformation, who are you supernaturally transforming into? You're supernaturally transforming into who you have always been before you've ever incarnated. That's the North Node Aries portal into your authenticity. So you have been gaining massive revelation on what that is. Some of you have also gained the revelation of your soul's name. This is very key. Hold the soul name for the end of the ritual. And if you don't know your soul name, it's cool. Come up with a magic word that comes to you. Keep that in mind, okay? So basically, this vision that you are going to see as your transformed being and self, the you who you are awakening into finally, okay, you are going to see what this victory looks like. It could be complex and or it could be simple. It could be as simple as just a thought, a word, a dream. This is your vision, okay? You are going to attach as many wishes and intentions as you want, all right? This vision is going to be a vision that over the next 2 weeks, you will be constantly adjusting. Before the full moon in Gemini, where you release this vision in the form of a true understanding of the ascension of seeing it. That means that the vision that you are holding now, you are going to see in 2 weeks. You're maintaining that frequency so that you can harvest that. That's why over the next 2 weeks, you're going to face intense attacks that seek to knock you off of that frequency. Your job is to maintain that intention. That's it. And you're going to piss off a lot of people who are going to try and shame and guilt and manipulate you because you stand fast to those values, and you're going to tell them to suck your energetic dick. And there's nothing they're going to be able to do about that. And they're going to see basically what it feels like to lose and not hide behind deception and act like they're winning. All the fake victories they've ever had will be exposed, and they will be seen for what they truly are, as you will be seen for who you truly are through the light of Sagittarius. Boom. Okay. After you set that intention, right? This intention that we're setting is going to be set with the group. We're all going to connect our energy, see the vision, and then we're going to intend and see other people's visions being seen. That's going to be the exponential effect of 250 plus people literally hooking up their magic with your wish, with your intention, with your vision. That literally assures that it's going to manifest. The only thing is that once we leave the broadcast, that's what's going to disperse it and actually start the activation of this. Okay, cool. That's where we get into the bonus round for those of you who want to add this bonus. And we'll talk about that more right before we start the ritual. All right. So before we start, of course, to break down the next 2 weeks, let's see what card we get. Underlying theme, of course, is the Lovers card. And we want to highlight the presence of the Lovers because this full moon is opposite Uranus and Jupiter, which is perhaps some of the most iconic and unconventionally unique energy we as a collective have ever faced. So, in the most unpredictable and unexpected ways, you're going to be innovating existing relationships and stepping into new relationships that very quickly develop and will be very shocking because of how in tune both of you are together with each other. So, with that being said, keep this in mind because this will be a choice, especially for those of you who have been wanting breakthroughs in romance to engage romantically, but without having to compromise or hold yourself back and shortchange yourself. Now you're connecting with people who understand you at your core. And this is where, with the main card, we do have the moon, we do have the Empress, and we do have justice. So this is love that is a fantasy, a dream that is unconditional in love and that feels right. Okay. And honestly, this is actually has less to do with love and more to do with the breakthrough of how you balance all this success. Because with the moon card, there are certain immaterial impressions of your situations that you may have unconsciously just attributed to being just in your head or just being an idea, that with the Empress is immediately just going to be made real. And you're going to realize, oh, so that wasn't just my imagination. Oh, it was your imagination, all right, but that's not all it was. And that's where, with the Justice card, you're going to be able to balance what occurs. This is going to be really reassuring for those of you who come into unconventional relationships with others and aren't really sure if it's going to last. The Justice card is saying, because of the vows and the accountability that you both will hold with each other. That's all the justice is. It's just, holding yourself and others accountable. All right. This is like agreements that are going to be made. The Empress is the lovey-dovey stuff, and the justice are the agreements. But the moon is the synchronicity revelation of the psychic experiences you've had. The moon card is highlighting, with the Lovers card, a dangerous romance for some of you. That's why this has been very complicated. Some of you have been connecting with people who are involved with other people, or you've been connecting with people who are afraid to be with you because they know being with you will also mean that they will, how do I say that? There's certain people who want to be with you, but they are sensitive to people's idea of you. It's like they may, you may not be aware that the people in their life would demonize them for being with you, right? And so this is bringing to a completion these dynamics and breaking you through into this unconditional love exploration balanced with the integrity of justice. That's why for some of you, it's going to feel like a literal fantasy is coming true because you overcome all of that and really just tap into the love. All right. The connection that both of you have, which is paramount and takes priority. All right. And I think you're definitely going to enjoy that. I think some of you might kind of keep, this is also saying some of you are going to keep a relationship on the low. And then you're going to establish the relationship and then reveal it, which is cool. So with that being said, okay, let us talk about how badass this is. I'm going to really just keep it straight. You have already activated superpowers and you've already taken new principles of ideas and abilities and integrated it. But this is it. This is you really now stepping into the full expression of it. This is you stepping into your final form. Okay. The moon in less than an hour is, all right, in less than like 3 hours, is getting ready to activate this 20-degree conjunction. Because it's next to Mars, you are going to be able to take immediate and direct action off of this. What is activating? Wisdom. You are taking the wisdom of all the experiences you activated since March and you're putting it all together. This is going to produce an ascended perspective that's going to adjust what direction you approach the final boss battle with. This is the breakthrough that's taking you to the next level. You are activating transformation. New moon in Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer is activation of new power. New moon in Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces is an activation of a new perspective. That's activation of new magic. That's going to be the final third stage breakthrough. Oh, I guess, yo, congratulations. This is why your spirit guides are like, congrats. And the dark forces are hating because once you do this, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. You will officially know too much. It's a wrap. So this is the last chance for them to get you, this final boss battle, because once you sail off on that arc, it's over. It's over. This is their last chance to get you. This is why this is down the line. Okay. And you will know who they is more than ever over the next 6 months. Starting, I mean, you already know, but like this is going to flesh in. This is where that dark psychological agent exposure comes through because like you've already broken through. Now they have to show their face because if not, you jeopardize their perdition. People are starting to look at these people like, whoa, the illusions that they cast on these people because you spoke the truth. People are looking at these people like, was I looking at you right? And now they're mad at you because look at you telling the truth and shit. This is crazy. So this is it. This is it. And the activation of perception prepares you for an activation of power, where you now apply this power based on the perception that moved you in that direction. But an activation of power leads to what? Activation of energy and strength. The direction we moved in with the agreements in Libra, we're now intensifying. What happens after Libra marriage? You now share your second house resources. What's yours is mine now. This is why we have to have trust and boundaries. The results of partnership. So you are activating the second stage breakthrough of energy. New moon in Aquarius is new knowledge, new cosmic energy. New moon in Taurus is new natural energy, new values. New moon in Leo is new courage, new passionate energy, right? New heartfelt vigor. And new moon in Scorpio is new wisdom, new sauce, new transformation. The application of the change in your behavior through Virgo that produces a transformation in your nature because you're actually really about this life. And we're going to see the effects of that breakthrough Sagittarius, where you ascend to the next level and wreak havoc Zeus style. All right. That being said, this activation of transformation is taking the soul, moon, and Scorpio understanding of this wisdom and giving you an intense awareness of this. This alone is already super saucy. But because Mars is 2 degrees away from this, it is enabling you to be directly aware of acting off of this. This is like you are activating this transformation, and then you can instantly use your new abilities. That's number one. Number two, the nature of this is opposite Uranus to the degree. So this is going to be the most revolutionary full moon we've ever had. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Israel is conflicting with this Gaza situation. Ukraine has had its situation with Russia. Syria is now launching proxy wars. America and China are involved. I really believe that this full moon cycle, this new moon cycle, is going to kick off World War III. I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't thinking it was going to happen this soon, but if it's not World War III, the conflicts with which are going to kick off with this new moon cycle can potentially distract you. So I don't care if the news tells you that the world is ending. Really focus on the direction that God is going to be guiding you, because you're going to have a whole bunch of people speculating on what's going to be happening and nobody fucking knows. Okay. If you now tune in within, you will be guided through the Holy Spirit. This expert is going to be telling you this. That expert is going to be telling you that. Let God be the one who guides you through this. Not my opinions, not my perspective. Let what God guide, because you're going to see it very clear. Like it's not going to be, this is why you can't be lukewarm. Like now that you have picked a side and you've decided to align yourself with integrity, it's going to be very clear. You're going to you're not going to have to worry about seeing what it is. Congratulations. Cool. So we have the Mars activation. This is now also activating this pure power and intense will of desire that's going to have you actively step into this new cycle. The opposition of Uranus is going to be the sudden awakening of these supernatural abilities through the quality of your consciousness and the transformation of your psyche. 6 months ago, this was conjunct Uranus. The opposition is harvesting this through the awareness of you transforming, being like, oh, wow, these are the effects of this. Wow, this actually worked. Wow, God's promise really came true. The arc was not for no reason. You feel me? So what does Uranus represent? Revolutions and innovations. This opposite Mars looks like revolts. It looks like technological revolutions. And because Jupiter is here to buffer the intensity of the new moon, it's going to expand the natural quality of how much energy your body can handle. So you want to push yourself beyond your limits, because as of now, you may not know yet that you can handle more. And as you push yourself more, that's how you will feel, okay, wow, I've really leveled up. That's how you're going to see this evidence through the transformation of your behavior moving forward. On top of that, Venus is sextile Mercury square Saturn. Okay. So your brain is processing this activation of transformation in a way that totally reworks every single conceptual framework of understanding that constitutes how you perceive reality. And a lot of it is going to have, it's literally applying this unlearning process. Let's say up until this point, you've unlearned everything you've learned. Now it's applying that so that it can prepare you to now reset your understanding with this new programming that you did what? In Gemini season. That's all getting ready to pay off. Remember how Gemini season, we were talking about spiritual AI and how like you know, your mind is actually way better than actual AI, because AI is modeled off your brain's ability and potential to draw information from realms beyond the physical to know whatever it is the fuck you want. It's way better than AI. Well, guess what? Because you mastered that programming through your physical behavior, which brought that mental programming into the physical in September, well, you're getting ready to now see the final effects of that programming that works automatically. And it's going to be lit. That's the last part of the I Told You So tour. Okay. So the opposition to Uranus is what's going to induce instant, supernatural, sudden awakenings, where the quality of these supernatural experiences border on the science fiction fantasy spectrum, except it was never fantasy. You were lied to about your potential, and this never happened out of nowhere. Beneath the consciousness of your senses, you have been burrowing this evolution underground, and now it's finally harvesting in a sudden way that gives the illusion of it happening out of nowhere, but it's everything you've been working towards. Okay, so that opposition is crazy, and the Mercury square is what's going to enable to ascend your brain processing in order to actually perceive the higher meaning of what wisdom you're activating. Venus in Libra is going to smooth and polish off how classy you express this socially and how much more polished you express these powers, quite literally. The opposition to Uranus here is going to serve as a contrarian force relative to the innovative quality of what you're doing. Like people looking at the Ringling Brothers and telling them they are crazy as fuck for thinking that they can fly a plane. You really think you can fly? That is insane. You're delusional. Really? Like, how do you think you can fly? Innovation that we take for granted, but at some point people couldn't do, right? It's like Noah building his ark, and they're like, you really think a flood is going to like wash everybody? Really? And that Uranian opposition is going to be the maintenance of this radical faith in your own value in the face of a society that actively disrespects you and guilt shame manipulates you. Because in reality, the unconscious allergic reaction to your authenticity is like holy water on a demon, and you're going to expose every single one of the agents who are assigned through their demonic possession to derail you from your path. And you are going to lay the living smackdown on each and every single one of these beings. If you want an idea of what this is like, find anyone who in their natal chart has sun opposite Uranus or even sun opposite Saturn and Jupiter. People who are born with sun opposite Uranus are, I almost want to say, reluctant geniuses. It's very similar to the Sun Uranus archetype, which they will feel this too. People project insanity on them. People who also have Sun conjunct and opposite Neptune, it's easy for people to project on them that they're delusional and that they're crazy. Well, because stupid people think that genius people are crazy people. So you're going to feel into this, and the radical stubbornness with which you maintain that value is going to have you pay off every bit of what you're worth. Sun trine and sextile Uranus flows so smoothly, it actually helps you use your genius to your benefit, to where you can show and flex as a talent. It's actually a really underrated and amazing aspect. So with that being said, okay, I appreciate you, Pat, because you definitely have one of the go aspects of this. Patrick has Sun in Cancer of the psychic opposite Neptune in Capricorn. Capricorn, which is godly powerful, but can be super cynical. So he's on TikTok reading tarot cards. And like someone can literally look at him and be like, this dude is delusional. Like, he really thinks that just pulling tarot cards and being psychic, actually, he really thinks that he's going to get views for this or that. He's actually reading people. Meanwhile, this dude's readings are on point. Like, if you like, it's uncanny. And if you don't believe me, go follow his TikTok and just watch his tarot reading. Like, they are ridiculously on point for pick a card nonchalant readings that he's doing. Obviously, he's a high priest. So with psychic power like this, obviously, of course, he's gonna have it like that. But that's what it's like to go through that. The veiled illusion of people projecting their insecurities on you, where if you give into that, you give your power away. But if you don't give into that, the cost effect ratio, the opportunity cost for dealing with that intensity now doubles your power. And it actually works really powerfully. Okay. So, with that being said, my friends, shout out to you, bro. Now that we've established this Uranian opposition, if you could be okay with people being uncomfortable with how amazing you are and supernatural you are, then you're ready. Okay. The sextile to Pluto and the trine to Venus are going to bring to the deepest realization all the wisdom and all the mystery. There's an element of mystery here that's going to be revealed. Something you've been guided to be revealed for decades, if not years now, is going to come into the most intense revelation that in 2 months in Capricorn season, you'll directly utilize. And then 2 months after that, you'll come into the full experience of. So you want to see this as the beginning of coming down the roller coaster. All right. Which means everything up to this point was preparation for the best part of this, the harvest, baby. And a lot of people are jealous of what you're about to harvest because some people are obsessed with your downfall and they've never been able to see that. Some people have been obsessed with just seeing you in uncompromising situations. And they were so frustrated because even though they were able to manipulate situations that got you to where they think they wanted you, you ended up excelling there. It's like you know that trope where someone tries to screw you over and they end up inadvertently blessing you. It's like because they try to manipulate it, it's like they ended up actually hooking you up. Now they're punching their fist in the air because it's like, wow. And it's like for other people, they're able to like ruin them, but they just can't touch you for some reason. That's crazy. All right, guys. So the first part of this is activation. This is where you're activating the supernatural energy. And as soon as the moon goes over Mercury, this is going to be a psychic mental link that's going to instantly change your perception because you're going to start to see the quality of the supernatural energy you've just activated. Okay. This is where you're going to understand the ascended higher meaning and visual quality of what it means to have supernatural quality of energy and to actually transform into your final form. By the time we come into this square to Neptune, this is going to absolutely challenge how uniquely you overcome false narratives that are designed to delude you. Because of the epic explosion, no pun intended, of events that are going to happen all throughout this week, it's going to put people in a pandemonium and people are just going to be making harebrained theories. Let me remind you something. There's no Gemini, there's no Virgo. If people do not give you context and if people do not give you any facts or logic, assume it is delusional. I don't care how real it looks. I don't care if they show you the video and the image in your face. If they do not give you real context, real facts, any logic, they do not know what they're talking about. And this is going Sagittarius and Pisces is just so much passion. How can you say that? How can you not believe that? People are dying. What's going on? Ah, what's wrong with you? And then you find out later that that wasn't the context and now they look stupid. If you give into that peer pressure, you will do some stupid shit that you know you have no business doing. Also be mindful, because you can give into this delusion too. This is a collective effect that's going to affect everybody. And because of the intensity of this activation is so intense, like needing laughing gas before you do surgery, it will make a lot of people loopy. All right. Those of you anchored in the integrity of your beliefs, you're going to have fun with this. Those people who have hard times accepting these beliefs, the denial is going to really throw them for a loop. This is going to lead us now into the third stage of activation. This is where the moon in Capricorn is going to help you understand how to utilize these new supernatural abilities. Mark my words, hold me to this. By the time the moon is in Cap, not only will you understand how to utilize this new supernatural quality of energy, it's also going to break you through into the wisdom of harnessing your energy that's latent to influence and enhance the quality of how you live and how you do things. The sun on Mars and moon on Pluto is not only the most direct extreme activation of God level power, but this is going to quintessentially transform the nature of how it is you actually utilize latent energy that you don't use in order to enhance everything you're already doing. This is what, with this extreme nature of activation, is applying the understanding of this perspective of what you're manifesting into how to use it and what direction you take with it. This is going to be so goated. It's going to influence very directly how you're going to really step into this harvest and the rest of this 6 months. This is also coinciding the trine of Sun to Neptune. So the Sagittarius signature here is going to, in this ascended aspect, show you the highest point of wisdom, which is going to look like the most profound revelations you have ever had in your whole life. Congratulations. This now prepares for the first quarter square in Aquarius that will begin to integrate the activation. Okay. What that looks like is like you activated a new energy, quality, new wisdom. It's like you gained a pack. And now Moon in Aquarius is having you unpack and understand the knowledge of, okay, we just activated the wisdom. We understand what to see about it. And now we know what direction we want to take it. Now we're understanding the foundation of advanced knowledge of how we integrate what we just activated. How are we going to put all this together? Okay. And this transit right here, I think, is the most important transit over the next 2 weeks. Because once the moon goes over the newly direct Saturn Pisces, you will not only feel and adjust your perception relative to the world literally ending, but the Aquarius square to Uranus in Taurus is what's going to instantly account for a condensation or a condensing of advanced concepts beyond your capability that you instantly know. Imagine if you could literally download a skill and just instantly know it. That's what it's going to feel like. It's not coming out of nowhere. It's latent qualities and attributes of your quirks and eccentricities that you have been developing outside of your conscious awareness. It's literally like you're taking an ability from your past life or early childhood, and you are just it's a transit like this is going to take a PhD course that takes 4 to 6 years to understand, and you're getting it in 6 hours. Just the thought of that alone is preposterous, but that's literally the quality of accelerated brain function that will facilitate this. And that's why, with the opposition to Uranus, it's foregoing old traditional means. So people are going to call you crazy because all they have known their entire existence is this is how we do things. So, like, you completely making that obsolete puts people out of business. It takes industries that exploit people's lack of understanding of these innovations, and it exposes them. It makes listen, this is why you're a target for people. You are threatening a lot of people's multi-million-dollar businesses. There are people who make millions of dollars by lying and finessing people. And you offering these innovative solutions are the likes of what got John McAfee killed, Dr. Sebi killed, Isaac Kappy killed, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, JFK killed. Like, this is the final rounds. We're not playing around. This is it. You're coming into the most extraordinary of revelations that will integrate this knowledge for you to immediately come into the full divine experience of. And that's where the moon on Saturn will most definitely anchor this integration of beliefs through you experiencing these supernatural abilities, and now using that as a point of contrast and context so that you anchor more in your belief. Wow, this really is real. Look at how I'm using this with full-on creative talent. So if you integrated this knowledgeable understanding, you're going to now apply this knowledge through understanding what and how to imagine that fully brings out the extent of course, this activation of pure energy. And there you have it. That's the first part of this new moon. Okay. The moon from Scorpio to Pisces is going to be one of the most legendary sequence of any lunar transit we have ever seen in human history. And that is a wild thing to say. That is a wild thing to say. Like, there's so much that has happened. So to say that this is it is crazy. Okay. And this is going to prepare you for the ascension that will change your entire world. Quite literally, because what I'm referencing is the 240 degree square, 70 degree square between the sun and Sag and the world Saturn, that also Mars will also step into. So you just activated new supernatural energy, and now the square with Saturn is a direct application of this that literally rocket blasts you into a higher consciousness. And that's what I love about Saturn being in the beginning of the sign, because we deal with it right at the beginning of this. So I love how all this is coinciding with the world events, because with the square to Saturn, this is going to introduce a very harsh narrative that's going to test who really knows their shit or not. You'll know who doesn't know their shit, because they're just going to be eating up the bullshit, and they're going to be bragging as if they're not idiots, as if they're not completely listening to Cap, versus those of you who completely see through it relative to the application of these supernatural gifts and abilities. All right. The moon in Aries is going to be so lit. Like, Sagittarius season, starting off with the moon in Aries, is the most Sagittarius-esque cry for liberation I have ever heard. It is literally Sagittarius with their balls out or their boobs out yelling freedom reigns. And they are not playing. That is the only zodiac sign with a weapon. They did not come to play around. The god of war Mars is literally going to enter this sign, and all hell breaks loose. It will be total carnage for the rest of the year, as false prophets get nothing but exposed, and people get butthurt because they didn't think they'd actually have to take accountability for all the actions that they've, done. So this moon in Aries is going to be an exhilarating reminder that in aligning with your authenticity, it was always worth it, even when you were made to feel like it wasn't. And this is going to really have you apply this ascended vision toward the full character definition of how you express your talents and understand more than ever who you are. This is going to feel so empowering and so fun. And then the moon is going to go into Taurus. And as it goes over Jupiter and as it goes over Uranus, this is also going to account for some of the most radically innovative physical feeling of your body. basically all the ways the transformation has been occurring, even through Virgo season, Sagittarius season is going to transform your understanding of the effects of this physical change, because you're going to see it. All right. This is important because it's already been happening though, but now it's breaking through into a level that you can actually develop a new perception through. And it's integrating now this quality of behavior through your understanding of these physical senses. All right. And I think what's very iconic about this is we don't miss a beat. The moon goes from Scorpio to Sagittarius, and then it's squaring the Pisces energy. Then it's going to go over Pluto and Cap. Then it's going to square the Taurus energy in Aqua. Then it's going to go over Neptune and Saturn and Pisces. And it's going to go over Chiron and the nodes. Then it's going to go over Jupiter and Uranus. And then boom, it's full in Gemini. So you're going to see this in the news, in events, in your real life with other people over the next 2 weeks. This is it. Everything was just waiting for the Saturn to go direct. That's back to regularly scheduled programming. And you're about to see this is everything you've been training for. And the moon going over Jupiter and enhancing this understanding as it also goes over Uranus is going to be some of the most unconventionally radical innovation of modern day concepts in tandem with your own unique supernatural abilities than you've ever seen. And that's what's going to bring us, of course, to Moon in Gemini, one of the most legendary full moons of all time, T-square, Lilith and Saturn, that's going to bring the ultimate game changer of a lifetime. Look at this as like a revolving door that brings about the literal end of the world over the next 2.5 years. By this full moon, the new moon to the full moon is the process of you taking the boat and the ark you built and now casting it off the shore. It's the process of the rain falling down. And by the time we are at the full moon in Gemini, you are experiencing the change. Okay. And a video game too. All right. So now that we've broken that down, we're going to reconvene in 2 weeks. We're going to do the ritual. What is going to happen is the effects of this ritual and everything that you see in your vision, by the time we get to November 27th, it will be real. It will harvest. From the moon in Gemini to moon in Virgo, that's going to be the harvest process where you are understanding the true meaning of what it is you harvested. And then when the moon is in Virgo, you are understanding how it's really here in reality because you maintained the activation of this energy over 2 weeks to harvest. We're going to do the ritual. If you do this ritual with me, you are going to hyper accelerate the effects that by 2 weeks or less, you will see every single one of your wishes, hopes, and dreams completely just out of the wazoo aligning. This was going to happen regardless, but with 300 plus people amplifying and intending for your intention to come true, don't take my word for it. You finna see. And congratulations. Like, it is a big deal that you're here. This is an opportunity cost and you made it here. Congratulations. So I have 2 videos in the description box below. After we finish this ritual, if you watch those 2 videos and apply those 2 videos, this will guarantee that you will achieve the results of this ritual. So I'm providing all the tools. I provided this breakdown over the next 2 weeks and forecast. This is it. We've covered all the bases. It's time to do the ritual. After we do the ritual, we're going to do a final pick a card reading so you can pick your gift, courtesy of the team, and we can reconvene in 2 weeks and watch how miraculous our transformations are. So with that being said, here again are the instructions of what we're about to do. Right now, I want you to connect with all 320 plus people in this room. We're in an imaginary hub in space right now. And I want you to cast your vision through your mind's eye and really tap in, connect, and feel all of us in this astral realm and room. It's the magic room where the DJ is there, DJ Peace, or whatever DJ you want to see. And I can see all of you there right now. We're all partying. You all look fabulous. And we're all talking about, of course, how it is we actually got to where we are. This is the personification of your transformed being, your higher self. And y'all are looking fly AF and very happy. You look battle worn and torn in the best of ways, where your adversity has made you stronger, but you haven't lost your grace. Okay. And you know, the music is bumping right now through our imagination. We are connected. You can see and picture or feel us holding hands. This is what now, as we're going to make our intention, is supercharging the intent, because now we see this vision. Okay. This is in a very simple way. There's so many methods of doing this. This is a very simple way of just sharing the same vision. Okay. So now that we've done this, the next step, all right, is right now to holding your mind's eye, your vision of success. I already feel my body transforming, my mood transforming. I feel happy. Okay. What is this victory you are seeing? What is the victory you have claimed? And it doesn't have to be just one thing. What does it look like? There we go. If you do it right, you'll feel the shift. You'll feel yourself, feel the exhilaration and happiness. Okay. Feel it, see it in your mind's eye. And all you have to do after this is to just maintain this vision and adjust it, add more to it. Okay. That's it. And then you're going to build. And then 2 weeks from now, with the full moon, you're going to release it. All right. When we reconvene. So I want you to see this vision. I want you to see it. I want you to see the end state of it. Like after you've achieved it, what do you see? All right. I want to see victory over your enemies, those who have antagonized you. You didn't make enemies out of them. They went out of their way to make an enemy of you. They said, I am your enemy. And now you have overcome them. What does that look like? That feels so good. I want you to really, really take some time to really feel that all over your body. Feel it very intensely. Okay. And now I want you to give that to yourself. I want you to decide here and now that this is what it is. I have decided that I have achieved this vision, and just keep looking at it and see it and maintain it. Be in that state. That's it. That's it. That's your mission, should you choose to accept. So you will see this vision continue to expand. If you want to edit it, if you want to change it, all you have to do is change it and maintain that change. That's it. You carry this for the next 2 weeks, you're straight. So now that we've done this, I want you to now set the intention that everybody else in this room, for their pure intentions, to also manifest in the best way possible for all of us involved. Congratulations. You have just had 316 plus people, and also those who are going to watch this after, fuel in to your intention. Now, let me talk about it. We got some heavy hitters in the chat. So I'm just giving you the basic template. You got some people who are going to, when they're intending for your wish to come true, they're putting in their magic. You're getting hooked up right now. This is Infinity Gang. This is an illustrious gang of individuals with limitless potential. And you yourself are one of those people also intending for everyone else's intention to come true. So now that we've done this, we've completed the first part of the ritual, and you can feel the energy boost. I don't know if you felt that slight energy boost. It's like a spirit bomb. You're feeling everyone else's intent, feeling on your intent, and you did on theirs. This is foolproof. This I am so grateful that I get to do this with you guys every month. It's free. It costs nothing but time and attention to really come together and make this magic while we're all in these different places connecting in this astral hub. All right. So that was the first stage. Okay. Now that you have activated this intention and energy, right? This is the next level. You don't have to do this part, but if you want to do this part, you can do this part. Remember how I talked about a magic word? You have been revealed who you are, and some of you have been revealed your soul name. If you have not been revealed the name of your soul, I want you to set the intention right now for your soul name to be revealed and prepare for it to be revealed. There's nothing you have to do for it to be revealed. I promise you it will unfold for you. I used to get so skeptical and I used to get so caught up on how will I know? How will I know? And I realized I got humbled. You reveal it to yourself. Sometimes, even when you're revealing it to yourself, you don't even realize. Chances are you revealed it to yourself, but you haven't uncovered the layer of what it means yet. And you're going to, so what you're being revealed, you already revealed to yourself. You probably just didn't know. Okay. This is very, very important. All right. Don't let anyone make you feel like you don't know. All right. So, with that being said, for those of you who know your soul name, this is going to be your magic word. We have the candle. We have this. Now that we've activated and supercharged our intent with 300 plus people, I want you to now take this vision and energy and pour it into this candle. Whether you touch it, whether you snap, whether you just take some time to feel it, you could do it however you want it. All right. You could just decide, I transfer it. It's as simple as whatever you want to do. So I want you to do that. And you can edit this too. You can make this whatever you want. If you want to use whatever you want. Okay. Like, for example, if you don't have a candle, if you don't have a cup, you can just imagine it. Once again, if you just did this first part, that's all you have to do. This is just now an extra bonus for people who want to add and supercharge it. And then you can also do the water. Whatever you want to do with this is up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my altar so that I can leave it for the espiritisma, for the spirits. And then I'm going to light this on my altar. Now, here's the thing. After the broadcast ends, before you light the candle and before you do whatever you do with the water, say your magic word and or soul name over that. Okay. Now here's bonus part 2. Okay. What we want to do is impose a nen condition and restriction. You don't have to do this, but if you do this, this is going to add a few layers of intensity to your intention. Now that we've made the intention and now that we've charged these items, I want you to think of at least 3 things. If you only have 1 or 2, totally fine. I want you to think of at least 3 things that for the next 2 weeks from now until November 27th, you are willing to give up. This is a sacrifice. Okay. You are giving up 3 things that you already do so that you are, what you're doing is the equivalent of taking away space in a full memory card so that the intention you wanted to bring in fills that space in the memory card. Okay. Because now you are sacrificing 3 things, this is going to strengthen that intention because you are obviously what you would have done over the next 2 weeks. You're not doing it. I want you to see how the alchemy of that works. It's super simple. If you are going to do these 3 things, well, because you're now not doing it, it opens up a new opportunity cost that you will fill in with this intention. Okay. It is also the equivalent of special summoning. All right. A higher energy by letting go of, all right, so you want to see there's that. So what are those three things? Okay. By the way, if you feel like there's nothing you need to give up, you don't have to give it up. This is just for a bonus option for those of you who want to take this to the next level. Okay. And basically, throughout the next 2 weeks, just abstain from that. For me, it's going to be something as simple as fasting. I'm going to officially start my intermittent fasting tomorrow. Okay. And I'm also going to go on a tolerance break. So over those next 2 weeks, I'm not going to be smoking any weed. All right. And what else? Also, you know, I've already kind of um been on semen retention, but I'm just going to extend that for it too. Cool. So it's not so much the quality of what it is you give up will bring more quality of what you gain, especially relative to what you've been doing consistently. But it's more important that you just maintain consistency. If you've just given your word right now that you're not going to do this over the next 2 weeks, make sure you don't do it over the next 2 weeks. If you hey, that is hilarious. If you personally want to keep doing it after 2 weeks, okay, you can do it. If you want to do it for just 1 week or just 2 days or one day, you can do that. I'm just suggesting 2 weeks, but it's really what you feel guided to do. You might be guided to do it your own unique way and just do that. Boom. So nice. We got the bonus part out the way. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Okay, we've done it. The clapback is now adjustable. So the clapback ritual is you maintaining this vision of victory. Here is the disclaimer. You maintaining that vision and holding this state is casting that intention, and it is signaling to the outside influences that hate you and that are antagonizing you to attack you. Okay. You're putting the signal out there. And because you're not a coward, you're maintaining it. You're going to be even more psychically attacked because you're claiming this victory and you're stepping into the I told you so tour. So all you have to do, part two, all you have to do on this stage 2 breakthrough activation is to just maintain that vision. When you're getting hit with these attacks, do not fold. If you refuse to fold, you will see the greatest harvest of this in 2 weeks. That's it. So you maintaining the vision is the clapback. And that's why you're going to be receiving these attacks, because they're going to be butthurt. They're not like Goliath did not expect David to be slain, to slay it. Nobody expected David to slay Goliath. Everyone was shook. This is that type of transit, y'all. This is that type of transit. And you're going on a giant slaying tour. Some of you demon slayers, devil slayers, God slayers. Let's get it. All right. So, congrats. This is it. You are ready. It has been a supreme honor to serve. And before we head out of here, we're going to do one pick a card reading where you get to choose your special gift. This is going to be a concept or theme that you're going to activate and integrate with this new intention over the next 2 weeks. And this is yours. If you don't want it, you don't have to claim it. If you want it, take it, claim it. It's as simple as that. We're just going to do one card for each, and we're going to do 3 different cards. This is card 1, 2, and 3. The underlying theme we have, whoo, are you ready for fulfillment? Are you ready for the completion of everything you've been working towards? Because some of you have felt this is too good to be true. Like, you know, you're going to achieve it, but you keep putting it away like, oh, I'm going to achieve. It's here now. It's here now. Are you ready to take on the whole world? Are you ready to take over the whole world? Your fulfillment, liberation, and completion is here. And it's time for you to experience and enjoy it. Okay. So this is reflecting the graduation and completion of everything you've worked towards. All right. So for those of you who've picked card number 1, the card that you pick is going to be the key towards making the most out of this liberation and fulfillment. Pile 1, we have Temperance. Your key is moderation, as moderation is key. So basically, you're going to be weaving together, and this is Sagittarius, you're going to be weaving together different complementary elements that enable you to really do unconventional things uh, that others wouldn't expect you to do. Like certain people are going to see you maybe smoking cigarettes or smoking tobacco or every now and then doing something. And they're going to wonder, how is it that you can do this and still wake up in the morning and take on the whole day? Because you, Pile 1, you are mastering the balance of your lifestyle. And the gift that you are mastering is alchemy. You are mastering alchemy and alchemic principles to know what different elements you can weave together to create whatever it is you want and draw into the material from the immaterial. So beautiful. Already so beautiful. Okay. Pile 2. Oh my God. What? By the way, Angels of Enlightenment, thank you very much. Much appreciated. All right. Call. So if you pick number 2, your gift is the Hierophant. Okay. The Hierophant is an organization that doesn't have to be religiously tied, but your gift are the spiritual keys of wisdom and knowledge. So you got the keys. Whether this is you being able to offer this wisdom, you're going to be, and this is so important because with the world, imagine an organization that influences the entire world with its values and philosophies. This is literally like a collegiate institution or a religious organization that you may either be the leader of or will be joining and will really be fruitful. This is your gift. You have the spiritual keys of wisdom that help others navigate through life as they're meant to. Okay. So beautiful. So beautiful. All right. I love that. I really love that. Okay. So last we have card 3. If you picked card 3, then what we have for you is the Chariot, baby. You are coming into milestone victory. That's what this pick a card reading is. What is the nature of your milestone victory? And that's why pulling the world is you're coming into your greatest accomplishment ever. So pile 1 is coming into this accomplishment through putting their life in perfect balance. It's like you created the perfect science to engineer your lifestyle to be the most amazing thing. Pile 2, you're coming into this greater sacred wisdom and knowledge through the organization of all these principles that is brought into full completion. And this is how you're going to be greater recognized because of those contributions. Pile 3, you're coming into the full-on realization of your willpower and your ability to achieve success relative to what it is you want to go and get. In other words, you're a fucking badass. So this is going to be W after W after W that you are out here catching. And I am just so very grateful. Pile 3, you're getting ready to move yourself forward and accomplish a very major success. Okay. So this is based off of actions you're taking, especially if you're in a competitive situation, you're going to win that situation. So yeah, this is so very beautiful. The Chariot is absolute victory here. Okay. And I think this is going to really serve you all well. So you guys stay blessed as always. This is just such a very amazing ritual. I hope you guys are ready to step into this, feel free to replay this video if you need any of the information again, and prepare for war. Okay, it's time to use everything that you've been awakening, and it's time to lay the smack down. Until next time, peace.